spawning all the way out at old.
Yeah, we'll see how many more chances Optic Gaming will give this. You'll see number 5 come off spawn. That was Scump. He spawns near that first one, and yeah, he's gonna back all the way on up. So Faze with a great hold here at second hill. No streaks on the board for Faze though, so Optic, they're gonna start to rotate. Dashy does spawn out. You see number 2, and well, Faze recognized that situation. So we have a battle on 2 sides of the map right now, but the numbers in favor of Optic Gaming on this rotation.
The last guy sitting here, though, is going to be a scene. This is a big one-on-one because he's got 4 kills in a row, but not an easy gunfight. It's against Dashy, but he's able to take it, and the journey for streaks continues for Asim, but it's TJ inside a noob I found that's able to make the play. 3 in a row for him, and that streak shut down for Asim.
Yeah, it's a huge kill out of TJ right there. Really felt like T stepped it up yesterday, brought a different form in the London, especially in that match against 100 Thieves. But you know, Asim was in that position where he's all alone, and you know, we see that from time to time when you're so close to streaks. How are you gonna play it? How much time are you gonna waste? But both teams just battling back and forth, respecting the rotation.
Are you surprised to see that from TJ though? I mean, that was his narrative last year as well. When he shows up huge. But showing up right now is Crim6 in the back. He was able to find 2, and so far, it's basically a great hold at first for Optic, answered by a great hold from Faze, then Optic returned the favor. So it's been very back and forth with regards to objective time for these 2 teams.
Yeah, you talked about the young talent on Faze, who's gonna show on up. Right now, Celium, 0-7, has not found a kill on the main stage. A lot of pressure, the crowd is loud. He has to calm down. A couple of kills, get into your form. It's a crazy situation.
We saw this from Enable on 100 Thieves yesterday, and that was from one of the most veteran players in the history of FPS on console. So if it can happen to him, absolutely it can happen to Celium. But Enable responded and went about even throughout the second half of that game. Celium's going to need to do the same, if not better.
Yeah, and the good thing for Enable is he had guys who were absolutely going off on Octane and Kenny. You don't have that on the side of Faze. Scraps finally finds 3, but TJ's still alive and finds 2. Still no kills on the board right now for Celium. And now Optic Gaming, as they control most of barrels with an 80-point lead, it's going to go up to 100 as we are done with this first rotation of hills.
Yeah, this has been about as good as it can be for Optic Gaming, just smoking Faze and approaching that 100-point advantage. The first set of rotations, everything they can need. The second set, Faze have got to make it interesting, and they've got to do it early. It's got to start with this hard point. Things have already gotten ugly very, very quickly.
And well, Specialist load on up. Karma, he's just going to stay alive, find 1 kill. Has the help of Dashy. Inside of the hill, the Canadian duo just trying to stay alive, able to find 1 on Azuma. Just buying time, staying alive. So he's waiting for those reinforcements, and they're here. TJ, Scump, the Sog duo find the kills, and well, there's a break from Optic.
The Sog duo are going off, the break is in, they're blowing Faze Clan out. Let's get to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Optic.
Spawn church.
Yo, he's about to get grabbed, and he's about to have 4. He's gonna have 4.
2 outer, bro. Let's go mid. Yo, I have crash. I'm gonna crash this. Let's go mid. It might be top window. Grab it right. Nice. Front. Scraps. Fuck. You got me. Top. Oh, Scraps. One shot front. I'm holding my spawn. Spawn back. Spawn. Scraps is front still.
They push.
We spawned out. I spawned out.
He's on the left stairs. Cell's white. I'm holding my spawn. He might be pods.
Stop window.
Spawn in the back.
Yo, oh fuck. White man. He's grappling white man. I spawn first. Yo, hold it back.
Nothing in the back.
Yeah. 2 barrels.
I shocked him. Yo, I have your tiny. Yeah. Oh, okay.
One more. Ideal. Shock that.
They should all be first. Yo, hold hill team. Oh, he's in church already.
Hold this. They're gonna be first.
Yo, hold back door.
Watch out mid. Back, Cell.
Come and set the guy.
Two new on me. Stunned it. I'm holding. Half stun, back. I'm coming in.
He went in church. Cell.
Watch out.
Cell ran first.
Close to streaks here. Looking orange. Do you have a stun? Doubles.
Orange door.
Any kills, they spawn behind. If you kill them, hold your, or if you die.
Yeah, hold your spawn if you die. I'm still playing this with you.
Cell's left stairs.
Orange.
What's up, man?
One shot, Ace.
Nice, team kill.
One guy mid.
All right, we're back into it, and the lead has only gotten bigger, Joe. Optic Gaming taking over, Dashy making plays for the Tempest, and there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel for Faze Clan.
Yeah, he's on a force spree as well. He's trying to play for these streaks. The one good thing for Faze, they've won this early rotation. 45 seconds, they can get back into the game. That rotation towards barrel. Scraps does use the war machine. You don't have anything on the side of Optic Gaming to allow them to break. The only thing would be the streaks, but Dashy gets taken down. Scraps, he's gonna find two. They need Scraps to have a series, and well, he's really been the one consistent guy for them so far. So Faze still alive, but you can see Optic Gaming with 20 seconds left already thinking about that rotation and Celium. 2 in 16, a very similar stat line, well, the exact same one that we saw of an enable, but Asim with that grabs him. Can he find the third? He does. That's the opening in the barrels. This could be back-to-back kills for Faze.
Can they somehow stay in this game for Celium to get going? The difference between the match last night and now is you were having that game from Enable, but they were still within striking distance. It was a 30 to 50 point game. That has not been the case here. Asim with a chance to get streaks though. He's on a 5 streak at 19 and 13. We'll see if he can pick him up. There's the gunfight. He takes out Dashy once again, and that's a lightning strike through. Tack 5 in for Faze Clan. If the comeback's gonna happen, it's right now.
Yeah, it absolutely is. TJ though with a big one-on-one. That's 2 dead for Faze now. They have to try to clutch this on Optic. They're going for the throat, but it's 0. Celium, they're finding the kills as Dashy and Crypsix come on through. Now it's just a 1 versus 1, but the cluster there from Scraps to help them clean it on up.
Oh, cleaned himself up as well, unfortunately for him, but they're at least still contesting, biding their time, making sure Optic Gaming can't inch their way any closer to that 250 mark.
That's a big 15 seconds. That'll put them right around, 240.
He really needed that
lightning.
Really needed that for your Faze.
Well, this will help them win rotation, but yeah, those 14 seconds, those are huge for Optic. They can fight for scrap.
Feels like a dagger, but Faze will have the early setup behind the lightning. How long can they hold on? Scraps POV ready and waiting. The slide comes through. Can't even take out one before he falls. Now 2 dead for Faze Clan. The swarm coming in for Optic Gaming as they're trying to burst on through. 1 player remaining. He's gonna drop. That could be your game.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. And well, Celium, he's changing specialists right now. He's not even sure what's going on, but they spawn towards Church and Optic Gaming. They're gonna take that one.
I don't know how, but somehow it feels Optic getting blessed with 1 out of 5 players on the opposition not showing up for map 1. But this time, they take control. They get a 100-point advantage. They fly behind that, but I don't know if Celium just isn't warmed up or the crowd maybe in his head, but that was a tough start and tough finish, really.
I mean, you talk about the Pro League qualifier. Yes, that was so important. There was so much stress on Faze, but this is the biggest match that Celium has ever played in. I mean, the guy's a rookie. Asim played really well. He started to heat on up. Scraps and 0 were consistent throughout. But you need Celium. I just feel like he's such an important aspect, especially going into Search and Destroy. We talked about it. They're 2 and 3 in S&D.
And what, 3 and 1 for Optic?
Yeah, 3 and 1 for Optic Gaming. But Celium, he comes from that Search and Destroy community, right? He needs to have a big game here.
Well, that's what's even scarier. Like, you'd feel good about a big game in game 2 if he was coming off a decent performance in that map 1. But this is where it might be the difference. So somebody like Enable has that game 1. He has competed for a decade, right? So him responding later in the game, responding in game 2 makes a lot of sense. Celium, though, being a younger player, that's got to be a bigger burden for him to deal with, just where his psyche might be.
Yeah, this is when you sort of look at who is the leader of this team, to just tell him, hey, calm down. I'm sure the EKA and the damage didn't make it look all that bad, but I think he knows in his head he didn't play too well. That's just who's this leader? Who's going to talk to these guys? Just calm down. It's 1 map. Let's focus on game 2. Just get rid of it.
Yeah, you saw a bit of the moments there from the Optic Gaming side. It's really everybody putting in for that monster win in game 1, but as good as they played, it's hard not to focus on the other side with Faze, because you just wonder what that would have looked like if Celium showed up in that particular match. But now, at least you get a little bit of a break. You can talk it through with the team. The tempo changes entirely now for the Search and Destroy. Can they answer back, or will Optic run away with this? Because I know for you and I, when we watched Optic 100 Thieves last night, we walked away very impressed. Like, we thought that more than likely would be our winners bracket final after seeing those two play against each other. They look to cut above the competition. Now, that might not be the case. Anything can happen in Call of Duty, but my God, did they look good. Optic might just be too good for this newly formed Faze roster.
I think them and 100 Thieves, I'm sure you could throw a Splice and Gen G. Those are probably the most fundamentally sound teams. And what we mean by that is at any point in a decision when it comes to a team push, everybody knows exactly what they're doing. They know how they have to respond, when they should go, when they shouldn't go. You don't see that from other teams. As we're going to take a look at Envy and Enigma 6. This is a losers round 1 game. This is a big one. I mean, one of these teams is going to be top 16.
That's unbelievable, considering I think there was some hype behind this Envy roster, and for Enigma 6, you're coming off a top 6 finish at the last major. For them, you make the change thinking you're going to make improvements, but that would be a tough pill to swallow if you come in and have a finish like that. But we're going to focus on this match. I think kind of a rest and break for some of the players, chance to focus on the search and destroy, and then momentarily we'll get back over to Optic Faze.
Well, and I think the big thing for Envy is what they started off their first match, beating United, right? And we thought 1-0, they 3-1 them, or maybe it was a win in Game 5 where they looked solid, and we were like, well, here we go, Envy's here. This is what we expected from them. Maybe they can go on some sort of run to get top 4, to get top 6. We know they have the talent, but then they drop, 2 games in a row. They're in the losers bracket. This is not an easy, losers round 1, because Enigma 6, they beat LG last night. Like, yeah. they've beaten some solid teams.
Well, everybody beat LG yesterday.
Well, yes.
But I don't know, for this Envy team, I think similar with my thoughts on Faze. Like, I think there are teams that have a ton of potential. Just is this event too early in their journey to be a top team? They've had 2 weeks to basically.
Yeah, I think when we saw this team, I think people thought, they could just individually all go off, and maybe there would be a solid top 4, top 6 placing. I had them around top 8. But I think a lot of people are looking towards Anaheim, towards the Pro League, really that back half of the year for this Envy team to put it all together, because the talent's there.
I think you got a player like Decimate who hasn't been able to compete most of the year. I mean, he was sitting kind of stuck on a contract, wasn't able to get onto a top team. I think most of us were really excited to see what he was able to do this year. Now we're going to get it, but will it take a little bit for him to maybe click back into things? More than likely, yeah. So we'll see if they improve over the course of this weekend, if they can make it out of this first round match. But now we'll shift focus back to the Search and Destroy coming up for Optic versus Faze. What we saw from Optic last night, the fact that you're getting the TJ, the dashing performance that you imagine, you've got to imagine they're the favorite. But for those of you in the crowd that have got Optic taking this Search and Destroy, let's hear you. Do we have any FaZe Clan fans out there? Well, this guy has an Optic thing in his hand as I asked for Faze, so everyone's just excited, Joe. They're just excited for the Search and Destroy.
Yeah, well, we saw frequency last night from Optic Gaming. Dashy early on going to have that sniper rifle out, but we'll see how FaZe adjusts to that as the trades start to go back and forth. But TJ able to find a couple of kills, and again, TJ, that's where he struggled at Fort Worth, was in that Search and Destroy big time, much more improved throughout this event. So we'll see Krim start to move towards that middle of the map, and they're going to rotate on over, and that's a perfect rotation. He's going to catch Zuma just climbing up that ladder now, a tough situation, and Zero's going to say see ya.
So Optic, they'll get on the board first as the Search and Destroy woes continue for FaZe Clan. Would you say this mode is the hardest of the newly formed team, or does it vary just depending on personnel?
I think it is. There's just a lot of steps to Search and Destroy. There's a lot of micro decisions you have to make. Again, it's not the most played game mode, but between players, it's just something that takes time.
That might be the single biggest thing. You just don't get a lot of scrims in it, right? Like, there's not a whole lot of practice as you get thrown together. Is a lot of them without scrimming. I mean, their practice ends up being at the major tournaments when they're playing Search and Destroy for the most part. But Dashy will have the sniper back in hand, watching mid-map. Got eyes on Zero for just a moment, but not able to hit the shot as he slides across. The pressure will build towards TJ. Carmen him trying to hold the side. They've got Scump to work with towards bottom ladder as the collapse is here and FaZe Clan just getting picked apart.
Yeah, they're just stuck right now. Zuma is able to find one, but the numbers and the rotations are here from Optic Gaming. You have no progress on the map if you're FaZe. And with 30 seconds off the clock, the bomb down as well. They have to rotate on back. They're going to try and have to make a couple individual plays, but that clock is going to go against them very quickly.
They just got bullied out of there.
Yeah, but you're going to see Optic actually rotate on off, so they don't know bombs down. Just go back to the middle of the map. Scraps just able to stay alive.
Yeah, doesn't get the slide, unfortunately, but somehow still stays up. You've retrieved bomb if you're FaZe Clan, but not for long. 3v3, Scraps finds another kill. Suddenly it's advantage over to FaZe. Is this one of those blunders from Optic Gaming? You had the man advantage, it's now disappeared. Bomb rotating across, and we'll see them work to try and get this down. In Zuma's hand, Dashy gets caught top mid. The trade is there, but TJ will end up falling, and FaZe pull one from the depths. That's one you can't lose if you're Optic Gaming.
They just over-rotated with no information whatsoever. I just felt like You at least keep one player towards B, towards the backside near pipes, just to shoulder it, because what ended up happening is they all rotated back to the base. One player had to go bottom ladder because he gets taken some shots from zero. So what happens when he goes bottom ladder, there's still 2 players from Faze towards that B side. They push on up, they're able to catch him out. And then Faze just rotate off of that, right? They keep playing those little games, you know, with Optic Gaming, just rotating back and forth, but maybe just a little bit too early of a rotation. Keep one player around towards that B side if you're Optic.
And really for Optic, it's just been the TJ show. He's sitting at 5-1, accounting for a majority of their kills, really all but 2. He had a fantastic game 1. We'll see if he can keep that rhythm going here. First blood and a second go to Optic Gaming. Early 5v3 advantage, Joe.
Well, TJ keeps it going. Karma finds 1 and 0. Once again in such a tough spot. Just trying to stay alive inside the lobby. And well, TJ just says hello. That's 3 for TJ. And this was important because when we talked to Teep like about Fort Worth, the big thing is they weren't really being the bullies on the map. And to me, that just comes down to TJ, right? He's gonna be your first guy in. So if he's not winning his one-on-ones, you don't have the pressure on the map. He's going middle of the map, challenging the other SOG,
I think
and that's it.
When he is feeling confident and playing well, this is a different team, without question. Just at its core, it allows them to play the way they want to.
He sets the pace.
Yeah, 100%. And he's, what, 8-1 now through 3 rounds? On pace for something special within this game, too, if he can somehow keep this madness going. Averaging, got just under 3 kills a round right now. Well, let's see what Faze opt to do on offense as they start to move towards the A site. Crim6 really the lone man here. He should get information momentarily. He gets the spot. The rotation will then be called in from Optic.
Yeah, well, all of Optic in a back gun up. We'll see how they play this retake situation. This is a tough bomb to cover. Even with the bomb down, it can be tough. The retake can be there. Stuns and nades not gonna connect. And here we go. Karma gonna push from that elbow. All of Faze basically there. They're not playing from elevator. They're on that bomb, but TJ finds 2. He's on a 5 spree. There's the man advantage. It's a 2 versus 4. And just like that, it's all up to a Seam and a 1 versus 3.
TJ then gets in. Finally, he will drop. It's a Seam that gets the kill, but Optic get the round. I guess the one good thing is you stop TJ before he gets some streaks, but otherwise, all Optic.
Yeah, I think for Faze, they were just hoping maybe that cluster and stun was able to connect to find that first blood, give them the numbers, because you saw the way they were playing it. Usually we'll see a lot of teams watch the flank, play from the elevator, have an ICR in there, just peek back and forth, watch that deep elbow. And it's tough to break on through. Usually that push comes through the middle. But Faze had 4 guys on the balcony, and when it comes down to those trades, Optic Gaming just outplayed them.
Take a look at the best play before we get into the next round. Optic sitting comfortably in control of this best of 5 thus far. A massive hardpoint win, and en route to another big victory if they can keep this going in the search and destroy. Faze have got to answer, and poor Celium, who had a horrific game 1. His struggles continue here. 0-4 in the search and destroy, and Dashi with another first blood to his name.
Yeah, and that's gonna catch a Seam off guard. Usually the sniper goes towards that B side. So Faze, I don't mind it. They play very aggressive in elevator. They're trying to get some map position. And he's just shouldering to see if anybody's there. And well, it just happens to be Dashi with a snipe.
A lot of times you get away with that shoulder too, but not
yeah,
against,
again, the sniper's usually a B.
Dashi picks up another behind the lethal grenade. 3 have dropped, 2 left up for Faze Clan. Celium gets gunned, his woes continue. 0 more than likely finding his way off the map, and that's exactly what it'll be. And that's tough. I mean, half your rounds have basically been somebody plunging off the map. You know 0, things aren't going well. Well, that is all Dashi early. The pick, the follow-up with the frag grenade to find the second kill in the round as TJ gets some help.
Yeah, and just Optic changing the pace. Last offense, it was very aggressive bottom ladder. That's where TJ found those 3 kills. This time, they play back towards their back elbows. They allow Dashi to work with the sniper, able to find a Faze player.
So you like the different looks you're seeing from Optic?
Yep.
Scraps on the Faze side. We'll have Paladin out looking over mid-map. You see at number 4 on the minimap is Scump. Looks like he's playing from bottom ladder, so no angle for Scraps to hit. But Crim6, he's the one that peaks first blood to Scrap, just like we saw Dashy do in the previous round. But there he falls it over the second. TJ, a big kill for Scraps because he's been taking over this search and destroy.
Yeah, now this just has to be a round for Faze. You have to secure this, make it a 4-2. In the map, Scraps gonna try to do what he can on the flank. There is one player pushing this. This is gonna be Karma. They have a pretty spread push, so as long as Faze play with their numbers, they should be fine. Scraps, he's gonna get taken down, but on the other side of the map, that's what happened. Is Zuma and his teammates were able to find Scum.
It's a 2v3 though, still somewhat manageable for the Optic Gaming side. They got 30 seconds to work on, and that's a big gunfight. That's one you can't lose or get away with your life, at least, is Dashy rip Zuma. Now 20 seconds to work with. Dashy building towards streaks as well as him and Karma go on the hunt. The first engagement in, Celium with his first kill, and it is a huge one. Celium gets two. His first two kills. And Lord Almighty, did Faze need him to come up big then?
I mean, he wins his first one-on-one. I think he's out. I thought he was just running back towards elevator, right? There's only 14 seconds left. Well, you're gonna see the scuff play of the game with Scraps right here. Nice couple of snipes to open things up.
You think TJ's feeling confident? He just slides out and tries to challenge him from the opposite window. But Scraps goes huge, and Celium, maybe that's a moment too that turns it around for him. Like a little bit of a clutch like that in a 2v2. As a young player, you think that's something to just get you kind of get the juices flowing?
Just get you in your sort of momentum, right? Just get you into how you're used to playing just day to day. You have to find that formula.
Let's see if that'll be enough for him. They're going to need more moments like that over the course of this game because they're still trailing by 2 rounds. It's a very passive offense from Optic Gaming. Already 30 seconds off the clock as they start to work their way up towards B. The lone man towards back elbow is going to be at number 9. That's Celium, and Dashy just misses making him pay.
And you got to watch these Optic players. So you have 3 here starting to move towards A, and well, Dashy's going to find Celium. There's that first blood, but 0 responds. I was going to spot out Karma on that late flank. What was his play going to be, but he gets caught. So now 4 versus 4, but Zuma having a solid game at 6 and 5. Oh. That's a nice hit marker. Might change things and allow them to fly on out.
Backs him up for a moment. The trade doesn't come in. He goes for the melee. That feeds TJ 2 kills. But now it's Dashy at 6 and 2 that has to clutch. The stripe does some damage. The slide is perfect. It finishes the kill. Now 20 seconds and a one-on-one. It's Scraps versus Dashy.
And he thought he was going through. He actually juked him. Dashy should be able to get away, and he is. Now he just has to play a clock. What a 1 versus 2 from Dashy. This one's over. Scraps has no time to defuse.
And that's tough with your Faze because you just had the Celium moment, right? That clutch. What's the worst thing that can happen? They get 1v2'd by Dashy the next round. It's like all that momentum they earned stripped away.
Yeah, and I thought that was a big round by Zuma. He finds 3 in their window and near their lobby to really just give them that advantage within that round. But those 2 players, Scraps and Celium, they were just so spread out. You had one player who was on the elbow just making sure that, well, he wasn't peeking it with a sniper. The other one was in the balcony. There was no trade potential. So after he gets that pistol kill, he has time to get out.
Optic now 1 round away from closing out this search and destroy. Faze have to rip off 4 straight. They need somebody to be the hero right now. It's Scraps and Zuma leading the way, but they need 0. Celium, Asim, someone to really pick it up if they're going to do this.
Who's going to slow down TJ right now? 13 and 4 out of him.
I mean, he slowed down a bit, but he started so strong. Like 10 and 1, he did so much damage early. And Karma, 2 line up. 2 get torn down. There's a trade eventually, but not before the damage is done. That's a nice shot from Scraps, though. The peek and challenge from Dashy. Dashy will get punished, so now it's a 3v3. Look at Crim6. You got him highlighted on the minimap as he's pushed into their lobby. But you see that number 8, and that's what 0 kind of watching the back. They're worried about that opening.
They know that that is wide open, especially Celium's position. Usually you have a guy in your lobby, but because he had to trade down low, we'll see what Crim's able to find. Scraps is ready for it. Celium should pop on up.
Great play from Faze. They know the situation. They're able to isolate Crim playing on an island. They go for the plant. He more than likely catches them.
Well, Scump's going to be up top, but again, it's about Celium right now. He's really going to be a playmaker. Should be able to catch him, and he is.
Celium
Great patience from him.
Finishes the kill, and now it all is to TJ in a 1v3 with bomb planted. not a very manageable situation. We'll see if he goes for it. 35 seconds to work with. Everybody on the opposite side, will he even have time to do this?
I mean, if my teammate's 13-4, I'm telling you to go for it.
Hell yeah, go for it. Try to make the play. He gets hit markered immediately. That's going to delay the push. Nice shot from Scraps. Has bided even more time. Can't get the heel off. Will get caught at 0. Finishes it. And round by round, Faze now have to stay alive. Just one round at a time. Chip away.
You think about that 1 versus 2 from Dashy. That goes the way of Faze. This is 4-4, right?
Yeah,
Just
it's true. It's true.
One clutch could be the difference maker. But there's another one of those rounds where Karma finds 2. They have the 4 versus 3 in a round. That's 2 this map where they've had man advantage and thrown it away.
We've talked about Celium's struggles, but as he's picked it up, Scump on the other side, he's 1-6, not having a great game, but the slack picked up by TJ's monster performance more than accounts for it.
Yeah, sometimes there's just not a lot of kills on the map for you.
This TJ's cruising through people. We've seen some passive offenses from Optic. This time it's aggressive to get the bomb down. 0 does a lot of damage, but can't actually get the kill. This is a big gunfight bottom mid. You think Asim has it, but no. It's Karma with the bunny hop, somehow able to take it.
I mean, that's exactly where you want your SOG, right towards that bottom ladder.
Yeah, he had no right winning that.
And well, TJ, he earns that war machine.
They're on it. They're on it. It's halfway there. It's still going. They've got to pick him off. It's just about to be done. They're just able to get him off. And that's going to be the game to Optic.
Great game out of Optic. And well, now they're 4-1 in Search and Destroy.
Wow, they had to have been, what, 80% of the way there?
That was closer than that.
It was real close. Just almost able to stick it, but Optic able to clutch up in the final moments of the Search and Destroy. Now take a 2-0 edge, and yeah, I mean, yes, there were some tight rounds, but so far, for the most part, it's been back-to-back convincing map wins for Optic.
Yeah, and when Faze loses that map number 1, they obviously know, right? You heard what Miles was talking about, where they know their struggles is in Search and Destroy. They're just sort of winging it right now. The good thing for Faze, they're undefeated in Control. The bad thing, so is Optic Gaming. So we have 2 undefeated teams in Control. This should be a great game 3.
Control should be incredible, but it's Optic in control of this series right now. We'll be right back with map 3 after this quick break.
Revamp Game Fuel. Level up the game.
All right, we are here with Fida from Mindfreak in the Game Fuel open bracket area. How does it feel to be back here in the open bracket?
It's always great to compete, so, you know, we love competing as a team, so, yeah, it's good.
How were your travels from Australia?
The travel day never gets any better, but I think it was about 24 hours to get here, so, I mean, it's always not the best, but what can you do?
All right, and then going forward for the remainder of the open bracket, what are your thoughts and what are your goals?
We've been stuck in a control recently, so, I mean, just working on that, and we should be right.
All right, well, thank you so much for that interview. Best of luck going forward. You can go ahead and head off while I give the viewers the rest of the little bit of an update. So Team Divinity did fall 3-0, or excuse me, Team Divinity beat Alliance rather. 3-0. Alliance are, of course, the ones that fell. Mindfreak have just fallen to Aspire, and Kairos Gaming did beat Giants. We'll be bringing you the rest of the action for the remainder of the day right here on the main stream. As a reminder, if you wanted to watch those Game Fuel open bracket matches, we are going to be airing a bit of the gameplay on our Bravo stream. But for now, back on over to Katie at the desk.
What's
I
up,
believe
Katie?
it's coming to us. Listen, I am beautiful.
Katie, you look good.
I am beautiful.
You look real good. You lost a lot of hair.
I heard her say that. I was like, I swore they were coming back to us.
Yeah.
Oh, you see that photo of me with that wig on, though, right?
Yeah, it looks good.
I do look good. But now we're excited to get back into this series. We've got Optic going up against Faze. We're going to be heading into the map 3 control. I guess so far this has gone how I kind of expected it to, because we casted Faze yesterday, we casted Optic yesterday.
Yep.
I think we both walked away thinking Optic was a superior team. So
yep.
I'm not shocked to see it going this way, but I just wonder, I can't help but keep thinking, if we get Celium, where he can play, is this at least some tighter maps? Like, can they pull one out? Can they pull out of control at around 5 or something like that? But he's really got to get it going, because I think you looked at it. What are you doing? It was something like 2,000 damage in map 1?
It was like 2,200.
Yeah, and that's just, I mean, that's not showing up. He's got to do it. He's got to do it.
That's one of the lowest that I think we've seen, especially on a C-side as a Maddox, right? You just have to play a little bit better.
Yeah, part of it, I think he's going to be an incredible player, but this is just maybe too tall an order right now against this particular team on this particular stage. But he's got to get it going now in the control. You talked about the fact that both these teams are undefeated. So this has been great modes for Faze, for Optic. But I think you have to favor Optic heading into this. So Faze claim, what, 30% of their control rounds during pool play?
I believe that's supposed to be 90.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense if they're 3-0, right?
Yeah, no, it's 90%.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Let's just times that by 3.
I was thinking, if they won 30% of their rolls, the rounds, that would be tough to be undefeated.
Yeah, and the big thing for them is, I mean, in control at 0, it's number 5 right now, in control at 1.42. The other good thing, Celium is at number 7, 1.35 control KD throughout this weekend. So if you're going to see Celium, maybe it's on this map.
All right, well, loading in to Gridlock. We'll see if Optic can close it out here or if Faze can fight back, but what could be the final map in this best of 5 starts now, and so far so good out the gates for Faze Clan. Zuma and Zero finding kills.
Yeah, I think what you'd think for Faze, if they've done VODs, I'm sure they have, is we saw Optic play this against 100 Thieves last night, and they were able to take it in a round 5 fashion. So yeah, you have some VODs to watch.
But that's also what's scary, because 100 Thieves are maybe the best control team in the game. At least statistically, they've been incredible. So if you see Optic beat them, it's like, whoa, we've got our work cut out for us.
And this is exactly what we saw. Yes, Faze gets into A, but what did they do so well last night on the defensive rounds? They did not allow that full capture to go all the way through. They were so annoying. They were pestering 100 Thieves time and time again. They just made it so it wasn't clean, and there we go. You already have a 7 life advantage for Optic.
And
Gaming.
it feels like a lot of teams sort of stopped doing that because they were trying to contest. They were coming out of it down 4 lives, and it wasn't worth it. But Optic was able to do it efficiently, which I think we haven't seen a whole lot of.
So we'll see now. Faze trying to push through this flank. You do have one player, Zuma, who stayed behind. TJ not able to connect. Well, that auto-aim drag, sometimes it just gets you when 1 or 2 players slides on through.
I think he had 1 kill finish, too. It started to re-snap a bit as well, but he will end up dropping. But it's Dashy on Optic that has started out 4-0. There's some pressure into post, but that collapse is about to come in as 2 players now push the flank. Celium still somehow standing tall inside. How much more damage can he actually do from Post? Because this is big.
That's a huge kill.
As long as he can stay alive, now the front push is coming. Take a look at the minimap. 4 players starting to hit, so they don't have to deal with eyes on them. All the way pushed up the Sushi. They get a little bit of ground. It doesn't end up mattering much because Optic's able to hold on, but there was a brief moment there where it looked like Faze might have a chance to make things messy.
Zero wins that first gunfight on the Krim. I think that's the opening for Faze, but Krim once again bettering Zero in this ICR battle. We haven't touched on Krim much. I mean, really, it's because all the other guys started to step up, but if you looked at their cross-divisional week in Fort Worth, Krim was so darn good, and he was doing so much in this ICR role. 6-1 start for him on a 5 spree. Exactly what you want to see if you're an Optic Gaming fan.
I think overall, I mean, you'd like to not have to have a lot out of your ICR, right? Like, you'd love your Sagamatics players be doing it a lot. The ICR low engagements not having to have that big of an impact. Right now, though, he's having that impact. 7 in a row, close to picking up streaks. 2 lives remaining. Can you feed one of these, maybe make them weak for Krim? Not able to do it, but it's a convincing round for Optic, and yeah, more of exactly what we saw if you watch Optic versus 100 Thieves last night.
Yeah, I mean, just right off the break, it's like Faze finds a couple of kills. They probably think they have A, and then I believe it was a flank out of Dashi, and TJ did such a great job just finding a couple of kills.
And it's been kind of as we've watched the meta sort of develop over the course of control of this, because a lot of times, yeah, you get those first kills, you think, hey, we leave 2 guys here, we'll get the points slowly, we send 3 out to make sure they can't trap us in, but then when they throw that much at it, yeah, it catches them off guard, they're not ready for it. So I love control. It's a fantastic mode, but sometimes it is like a little bit of a guessing game, like what are they gonna throw at us?
That's just sort of that meta throughout the game type, the different strategies that teams are gonna throw at them. And while Optic, they're gonna head towards this B side, not even send 1 to A. Faze does have 3 players here. Thermal from Crim6. Gonna put a couple of shots in. Scrap's able to find 1 on a Karma, but the numbers advantage right now in favor of Faze is Scrap able to find 2 kills. We'll see if they can find anything, but that's gonna be streaks for Krim.
That's 1 step done. You get the streaks, they're still present 3 players, and he is still snapping. 2 more are gonna top.
Dashi too.
Oh my God, they're all getting melted in the back line. Streaks galore for Optic Gaming. You're on the way to the 2nd tick here at B. It's 3 stacked right now with 1 player playing out towards 18, but they never actually got the 2nd tick. That I don't think it might have been.
In a lightning as well.
It
Does find a couple of kills. They're still hitting B. They're still going for this. That's 3 dead right now. And the rest of the players spawned at A. They thought they were going to rotate on over, and they did it. Now Scraps gets hit by the car, and he has to stay alive. The 2nd tick almost there. The trophy's down. This could be B for Optic.
I think it's another thing they do, which maybe is a little bit against the standard, and catches Faze out. As TJ picks up a pair, there's still a presence here. Him and Scump trying to cut him down. Celium and Zuma get stuck between both players, but they haven't quite finished it yet. Now they should be able to stack it, and you can see Faze is giving up. They're rotating out, and that's a big early win from Optic.
Yeah, I mean, after they got those kills, 1 player that spawned up immediately headed to A. They thought they were going to rotate on over.
Well, how many times do we see that, though?
You saw the lightning come in, Krim finds 2, and the push continues up that B street.
And typically, when you get B first, it's usually spelling an offensive victory. But we have seen some crazy holds. They've got to do it for 1:45, and they have to do it with a 6 life disadvantage.
I mean, the big thing is they have 1:40, and they don't have to get the point. They can just play around their life advantage. They can continue to spawn kill.
Faze in a very tough spot, though. Down 6 lives. They've got to hold. I want to go to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Faze Clan.
Watch out. Nice. Stop bridge. Still
Hey, I'm here. Do it.
You can't bridge?
I need help. I'm here. I'm here. One shot, Karma.
511.
He child the fucking song.
True, Diamond.
Great.
Alright. Nice, you're there. Here's a nice dart.
It's Optic. They get the round victory, and Joe, during that listen-in, you didn't look very pleased. You looked sort of disgusted.
Are they talking? Like, well, there was no energy on the side of Faze. That was, I mean, maybe that's just an indicator of they've been getting smoked throughout this match, but
wouldn't that be one of your fears when the question mark was who's that vocal leader on this particular team?
Yeah, I mean, you just didn't hear anybody really talking. There was not a lot of communication on the side of Faze.
How do you fix that? Especially mid-tournament.
Someone has to step on up. Like, I mean, usually it's behind an individual player starting to go off, get that energy going. But right now, Optic just looked the better team.
Well, there's not a lot of players that can sort of be that leader when you're also getting smoked, right? It's tough when you're double negative to be like that energy guy, that hype guy. Like, yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked, but you guys are doing great. Like, it's hard to do. So
I mean, you do that every day.
I do. Oh, yeah, actually, that's basically been my career on Black Eye yesterday.
I know,
You're correct.
Uh-huh.
But Optic Gaming just need one more round to close this out with a very emphatic 3-0.
There we go. Here comes that retake situation again for Optic, and they're finding a couple of kills, and now Dashy's on the flank. How is nobody watching the flank? At least Zuma turns, but they get him off the point. Scraps with the cluster. He's the last one left. It's a 1 versus 1. But they bought so much time, and Scump wins the gunfight with the SOG. This has just been impressive to watch from Optic. I love the adjustments that they've made on this control.
Yeah, it looks like some big improvements from Fort Worth. Well, teams start to adapt to what they're throwing at them over the course of this weekend, but that will be done. And unlike last time, which was what? I think like a 6-life advantage for Optic, much more manageable now for Faze. They've got pressure towards the back. But the problem is you've got a couple of streaks in Dashy and Crim6. Crim6 is 21-6 for God's sake. I mean, he's going plus triple positive. He's been shredding Faze Clan this control.
And we'll see if Faze can hang on. I mean, you have a lot of specialists starting to heat on up now for Optic Gaming. You finally have a life advantage. I feel like that's the first time I've said it throughout this map. And while it might just disappear because 3 go down, can Scump find the 4th on Azuma? Has the help of Karma, and now we're tied in that life category. Crim does use the Vision Pulse. They know Dashy's back here.
He'll end up falling. We're even the odds yet again, but you can see how pushed up Optic is right now. You still have 1 player at the truck, 2 pushed up towards the back alley. The remaining players worried about the flank or the push through, but you've got to get through this line. I know there's a lot of time left. This is obviously very manageable, but this first step needs to get done in the next 30 seconds or so. They've got to clear them out. He goes for the grab slam, and nice shots by Zuma to make sure he can't connect.
Yeah, Karma tried sealing the deal right there. I mean, if you're Faze, you have to try to set up your specialist, your War Machine, your grab slam, get a seam on the flank, but he gets taken down, and so does your War Machine. Karma with 2. Still, though, 1 life advantage for Faze. But now the time dwindling. They have nobody on the flank. They have to flood this street. Here comes the seam right off spawn. Nice shots on the Crim. Not able to find 2 as Dashy finds 2 kills, slows the pace down once again.
And I was wondering if Dashy was going to pull out the Tempest from that spot, but the ICR ends up being perfect. Gets both kills, lines him up, but still has it to use. Yes, if he needs it in these final moments.
Yeah,
War Machine out,
see it start to dwindle
Tempest
down.
out, Hellstorm out, everything being exhausted from Optic Gaming to hold on to the final moment. He hits him out of the sky. Is Asim trying to
He's still alive. He's still alive. Asim's still up. He has a grab slam. We'll see if he can stay up. Scraps finds 3 with that War Machine. Somehow still alive. 5 versus 3 now.
Only 3 lives left, and they've stopped the clock. It's all on Karma and Scump. Scump wins the first gunfight, turns it into a 2v3. They've got to get on a contest. 1 at the car, 2 inside of Sushi. The snap comes out, Scump is gonna drop. It all falls to Karma. Asim goes high, catches him reloading. And what a play from Asim to keep Faze in this map 3.
You can see there's that hype. Asim's starting to get a little fired up. Maybe he's that guy. I mean, maybe he just turns into it for Faze. I mean, he had a great map 1. He played it exceptionally well for Faze.
When he got up from the Tempest, that looked like a Michael Bay film. There was just the War Machine going off, a cluster to his left, like everything exploding around him. That was insane, but he is able to make the play and stop what might be a 3-0. And think about Optic use. You use Tempest, you use War Machine, you use Vision Pulse, you go for the grab slam, you use the TAC 5, you use the Hellstorm. You literally use everything in your arsenal there. The only good thing is I think Karma only lost half of his grab slam based on losing it kind of midway through, but you use everything. Now look at the top left as far as Faze. You've already got the grab slam. Selim and Zuma very close to picking up stuff. The grab slam effectively smoked that Prius, but then he's able to get the kill right after it. But you've got a bit of an advantage. You can get this to around 5.
But Optic threw a fake right off the start. They sent 2 players towards B. That forced the rotation. So you're going to see that progress up at A. Asim easy to take him down by Crim, who comes up off spawn. But map control for Faze. And again, I think the early thing on for Faze in those first 2 rounds is the first 30 seconds, they were down 5 lives right away. Like, it was so tough for them because Optic could just play around this lane. Now off the starts, you're starting to see Faze with 2 to 3 kill leads.
Optic starting to work towards this broken building. TJ gets a pick on one side. It's Scump that finds the kill on the other. Scraps is still working on these streaks. He's been so darn close and knows how important they could be down the stretch of this round or a fifth and final round. Celium's starting to heat up. He's winning one-on-ones against Dashy. You know the gun's starting to get there. Despite the fact he's not having another great map. He's 10-17 right now. It's been a tough series for him, that's for sure.
Yeah, we'll see what Optic try to do. It looks like they're only going to send Karma on the flank. Watch that number 8 arrow at the bottom of the mini-map. The pressure's here, though. Scump gets into that position. Asim just trying to stay alive, just pre-fires the corner, but Scump, nobody watches over Asim. He gets taken down. Now you have Karma. It's time for him to jump. That's 3 dead. And now he just has to stay alive. The spawns are in behind him. They have to force on Karma. They're able to do so, but Optic has position.
And Scraps, who's been playing for those streaks for the better part of what seems an hour, doesn't get them. Celium's gonna go ahead and pull out the Tempest. He gets traded out immediately after picking up 1 kill. Optic's got it stacked. They've got the second tick. This could be the series. Unless Faze can somehow battle back through. And now speaking of streaks, it's TJ that's gonna be close. He's only 125 off, but he's able to get to 18. There's gonna be the lightning as they're pushing out the spawn. But Scraps for the massive 2-piece in the back will be just enough to hold on and make sure Optic can't close it out there.
Yeah, the big thing is there was like 2 separate kills that really Optic just got separated on. So the 3 players that were alive, they got off the point. They knew they couldn't cap it fast enough. They lost 1 player in boxes. And then somehow Celium found one with the Tempest in a bit of a desperation play. So just spawning those guys out, giving yourself some breathing room. A couple of big individual battles that go the way of Faze, keep them alive, and then you just saw Scraps and Zuma find those kills towards the end.
The thing for Optic that you have an opening behind TJ's streak, and that's exactly what they're gonna go for. So the lightning should be called in. The question is, does it get a kill, or where does it force them?
That's bad as well.
They get a gunfight too, yeah. Oh God, that's gonna be 2 down, and now the flood comes in. The green wall surging forward. Can Faze Clan hold on inside? There seems to be too much of a presence here from Optic. There's still 2 players up. The reinforcements though coming in from Faze Clan. They've only got 5 lives left, but Dashy lights up 2. There's the final capture point, and Optic, they get the swift 3-0 over Faze Clan. For us, Joe, I think Optic just a little bit too good for this Faze team where they're at right now.
Yeah.
Does this roster have potential to challenge them a month, 2 months down the road? I think there's a possibility, but right now, it's just too fresh, and Optic are playing too well.
Yeah, I think too, like Optic are sort of on their revenge tour. Like they weren't happy with Fort Worth, and you can just feel that they really want to prove a point here at London, show they're one of the best teams in the world once again, and I think they've shown that. Later on though, they will have a very tough match. I believe they can play the winner of Heretics or Splice, where, I mean, if they go up against that Splice team who's gotten 2nd and 3rd in the last 2 open events, it could be a fun winner semi.
Well, I think when you think of the teams that have the most to prove, I mean, think of like a team like United who finish in the top 16 spot, Optic in top 12, like top teams that have potential to make a deep run that really were just, it was embarrassing what they did at Fort Worth. Optic, yes, I think you nailed it with that. They're on a revenge tour. Absolutely, just to show people what they are capable of. Because I do think there were still a lot of fans that pegged them as contenders or potential winners of this event, but there are definitely some non-believers just based on how poor they were, the up and down results they got within the Pro League. The last thing we saw from them was kind of that 3-0 series from 100 Thieves. So yeah, I think they're trying to win everybody back right now for sure.
It was very weird going into this event, and just the Optic discussion was at a minimal. It just was like we weren't exactly sure which team we were going to get between
Vegas or Fort Worth,
or Vegas. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people eyes on, you know, teams like 100 Thieves, Splice, Gen G, just their performances from Pro League. But Optic making a statement here.
All right, well, buddy, that was fun. That was a fantastic match, and there'll be more from us over the course of the day and the weekend. But for now, we've got Jess on stage with your PlayStation Instant Reaction.
Thank you, Clint. We were chatting just a minute ago. What are your thoughts on how that match went?
You know, it's just really, oh no. The mic, I can't talk like this. I don't have that ability. No, first map went by. It was very slow for me. I couldn't find anyone, and it was just pretty much a boring map for me. I was just holding the back, waiting for my teammates. And hey, stop laughing. Twitch chat, stop laughing, okay? I can't do this. Second map, you know, I don't even know what happened. I think Teej destroyed, but and then third map it was finally my turn. So first above terrible map of the tournament for me. So.
Sorry about the audio. I know it is. You can hear yourself very loudly, but thank you for that great answer anyway. Speaking of audio, what is it like to be here playing on main stage when you can hear the entire crowd shouting, "Let's go Optic"?
It's good. It's really good. Yeah, there we go. I don't know what time.
All right, well, there it is. All right, well, thank you so much. That has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. For now, back on over to Katie at the desk.
Hi, Jess.